Track has cracked the code for blending wet-dry conditions. Hey team, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian, core design engineer with Brunswick Bowling, and happy release week. Today we're talking about the brand new Cypher, the newest mid-performance ball in the track lineup, and although it has the original Synergy core shape, this one comes packed with new technology to fight today's modern slick oil conditions. Feel free to like and subscribe to my YouTube and Facebook pages, Bowling Buckosh, where I make new videos every time there's a new core release in the brand's Brunswick. And if you have any questions about this release, or any of the balls in the track lineup, or how they fit into your personal arsenal, feel free to drop a comment below and I'm happy to respond when I have time. Now let's take a look at this brand new track Synergy core inside the Cypher. Longtime track fans will remember the Synergy nameplate and how much success they had with it, so this is a natural refresh for us. Of course, this isn't the original core, this is an updated version with some great new technology, and this one comes with a twist, a uniquely high RG range for the differential range that it's playing in, so this one definitely separates itself a little bit from the other symmetrical balls in the current track lineup. We'll start right here at the center with this power core nugget. It's the same technology currently used in Columbia 300, and it is a replacement for the original ceramic technology that was found in the track and Columbia balls in the 90s. This, of course, is a drillable version of this super high density nugget, and notice the location to work with our dot technology and to keep the nugget away from the drillable area of the bowling ball to keep it intact for you guys. We've lowered it on the y-axis or the pin axis of the bowling ball. Now this is a drillable material, so in the event that your layout puts the thumb in the area of the nugget, which would probably be a pretty rare layout circumstance, you can still drill into it with the thumbs that are now getting deeper and deeper into the cores with the interchangeable systems. We decided that it's best that we use a material that's drillable, and that is the basis for the power core technology. Now, what does this little nugget do? It actually lowers the RG of the bowling ball by concentrating more mass in the center of mass of the geometric center of the ball. So actually what we can do is use a core body shape surrounding the nugget that's actually a higher RG configuration than the actual RG of the bowling ball itself. All that's to say is the density of the inner nugget is balancing the higher RG shape of the inner core, so we get a higher RG core shape, but the RG doesn't blow up out of proportion because of the inner nugget, and that way we can still use it. It's going to rev up in a reasonable amount of time. It's not going to go too far down the lane before revving up thanks to that inner nugget. Now this core body shape surrounding the nugget is a relatively round spherical shape, and those spherical core bodies typically lend themselves to a round sweeping motion, and to a degree that is what you get with the Cypher, although with the added flip block on top and the stem on the bottom, you do get a motion that is just a little more punch at the back of the lane, and that's an excellent complement to the HK cover that we'll cover in a second, pun intended I guess. And of course that density flip block on the top there helps you with the continuation as the ball loses tilt at the back of the lane. So all told, a nice package that resembles an incredibly close remake of the original Synergy core. Fans of the original Synergy are not going to be disappointed in the new redesign of the already famous Synergy core. Now I do have to talk for a second about the numbers of this inner core because they do position this core in a relatively unique place in the track lineup. Now of course the total differential at 0.47 is squarely in the middle, leaning toward the high side of the differential range, so this is going to give you a moderate to moderately high amount of total track flare and thus total shape out of the ball. However, the RG is the unique thing here. At 254, this is certainly skirting toward the high side of the RG range for us, especially with a clean HK cover. So this one's going to be later revving in terms of its contribution from the core, and compared to the 248 and 249 range of the sensor and the stealth, this one is going to be noticeably later revving compared to those two balls. So the sensor with its lower differential but its lower RG is going to be earlier revving, but the flare potential is less, so the overall shape of that ball is less. Flip side of that coin, the track stealth with its much higher differential is going to give you more shape in the body of the lane. It's going to be an earlier, rounder relative core motion compared to the Synergy, which is going to be later revving and going to give you maybe less total hook overall, but more shape at the back of the lane. This new Synergy core is surrounded by the HK22 cover base, which contains the MR8 solid additive package. So this is an interesting combination as well, because the HK22 cover base is obviously cleaner through the oils in the front of the lane than any previous cover stock base that we've used, with more response in the friction. But MR8 stands for medium response. 8, it represents the strength. And the solid format obviously is going to lend itself to a more earlier blending motion anyway. So mid response or medium response with the MR8 additive package actually kind of blends the HK22 cover base to be a little earlier reading in the mid lane with a little less back end stick and a little less back end sharpness than other HK22 cover blends. So all of this combined means that you are going to have a ball that reads the mid lane with a good amount of security and give you a more sweeping, more arcing, and less sharp back end motion. And that's going to be ideal for blending out wet dry conditions, and that's going to give you a little more confidence on a little bit fresher oils, despite the fact that it has a higher RG core. So that's kind of a little balancing act that the track boys played in order to make sure that this one reads the right part of the lane with the higher RG core combination. So obviously this unique core and cover combination is going to lend itself to having a little bit of a unique use case as well. So when are we going to use this new Cypher? I would say this ball is going to be perfect for fresh oil conditions that are longer in length but less volume overall. And actually that's quite a bit more common than you expect in today's modern game, especially on house shots, where proprietors don't necessarily want to flood the lanes with a ton of volume, but they still want to give their bowlers enough push to get down the lane. So we still see a lot of house shots that are in the 23 to 25 mil range, which is not very much by today's standards, but they'll stretch the pattern to 43, 44, even 45 feet on a house shot. And so this later revving core with its medium differential is going to make sure that the ball gets through the front of the pattern easily before revving in the mid lane and the late mid lane. And of course, this moderately sanded, moderate response additive package is going to help you get a little bit of traction in the late mid lane and make a sweeping but not sharp motion off the back of the lane, suitable for more moderate launch angles. And typically I break this down into rev dominant, matched, and speed dominant players, but I think the use case is relatively similar for everyone across the board for this one. The fresher head oil conditions that have a little bit of built-in friction and just a little less volume overall are going to be perfect. If you are on something that is a little bit shorter but still high volume, I think this one helps blend it out too. And in my mind, I'm thinking more along the sport shot range for this use case. For example, like a 38-foot sport shot, something that's not incredibly short, but something that certainly doesn't give you natural push off the end of the pattern, but you still want to control the launch angle, control the blend off the end of the pattern, and give yourself more of a sweeping motion. This one's going to be an amazing option for more medium to medium short sport conditions on the fresh, until you have defined friction to open it up with something with a little more shape. We interrupt this video to congratulate Matt Russo on being the Scorpion champion. He used the Cypher in that victory, and obviously this video was recorded before he won that title, so big congratulations to Matt for using the Cypher on Scorpion. And that does kind of speak to what I was saying earlier in this video about its usability on medium short sport patterns with higher volume. This new track Cypher combines all of the nostalgia of the original Synergy core with a surprising amount of new technology for a mid-performance price point. It is available April 18th at your local pro shop, so make sure you swing in and grab one. And as I mentioned before, I make new videos every time we have a new core introduction in the brands of Brunswick, so make sure you check back often for my new videos. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.